Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this marathon I'm doing personally. God, no, I'm not uploading all this all in one day. Holy hell, no. Dominic fights for his... Where was it changed, by the way, in case you didn't read and you decided to, jump in on this at, the near end of the entire saga? Welcome. Go back to episode 1 if you're new. Trust me, you're not going to know anything. Actually, you're going to get through all those episodes and you're still not going to know anything. Dominic fights for his life in the town square, surrounded by suits of armor. He lost sight of all of his allies, and is unable to tell if they're even still alive. Still, he fights on. He never give up. Not when he's this close to the end. That bell would surely ring any minute, and bring an end to the war. If the monarch followed through, then this world belonged to them. This is the fact that kept him fighting, even as his hope was lost. Even as his hope was lost. Oh boy. Fatigue started to settle in. Much like my fatigue starting to settle in, as I'm starting not even be able to register the words in front of me. Oh god. Making him move slower. As suits of armor fell, so did his strength and resolve. He was surrounded, fighting in every direction.
Come on, 14, we can't hold the town square forever.
And just then, an arrow pierces through his shoulder. He stumbles back and falls to his knees before pushing it out. This pain was minuscule compared to what he felt back in Mazeo. Oh, he was stabbed. Rising up, he starts to fight with anger, as well as determination. In a rage, he takes down the suits of armor even faster than before. Another arrow pierces his upper body, but nothing could stop him now. Keeping the arrow in, he grabs another sword that lay on the ground. Fighting with two of them, he's able to guard himself more efficiently. I turned Swedish! The suits of armor are arriving faster than he can kill them, however. Soon enough, he was surrounded by more suits than he could hope to kill. With no allies around him to come to his aid, he knew things were dire. If 14 didn't ring that bell, then this could very well be his final stand. He throws his second sword to the ground and takes a deep breath. He was prepared to face his death. This somehow made him stronger. The pain from the arrow only served to push him to more extremes.
I guess it's time.
His fighting starts to become more desperate as tears blur his vision. The fact that he couldn't see any of his friends just hurt him even more. He had to assume that everybody around him had fallen during battle.
Stay back! I'm warning you!
Oh, very threatening. I feel that intimidation. He held out his sword, as if to threaten. His hands trembles. The honor guard did not heed his warning, as they close in on him. Having no choice but to continue fighting, he lets out labored grunts. Through his blurred vision, he's almost unable to make out anything. His saving grace is the contrast of the white suits over Baltius Decay. Using that as a guide, he's able to keep track. He's able to keep taking down... I'm seriously starting to lose my brain. He's able to keep taking down his enemies. This is 4 minutes into this episode. Guys, you don't understand. I've been here for 6 hours. Small exaggeration, but I've been at this for a while. He tries fighting his way in the direction of the archers. Those are more of a threat to him than the suits with swords. In fact, he was certain that those archers had killed quite a few men. And unfortunately, he may be the next one added to their count. An arrow is shot through his gut, and he screams, falling back. Not a grievous wound, but he's immediately caught off guard. Something smashes in the back of his head, and he collapses. Turning around, he sees a suit, holding a rock covered in his blood. An open wound in the back of his head starts staining the ground.
What?
They hit you with a rock, of all things. He writhes on the ground in pain and confusion. The suit kneels down and grabs the sword from the ground. Ugh, it was the same one that Dominic had discarded moments earlier. He's surprised to see that the rest of the honor guard stands down, as if they acknowledged this one had deserved to deal the final blow. Dominic cries, looking up in horror, as the suit raises up the sword. But before they can follow through with their thrust, something happens. An arrow pierces through the suit. Fuck no! and it crumbles to the ground. Dominic looks around in confusion. Had an ally finally come? Fuck no! If that's Shane, then I live in the world of anime here.
Dominic, give me your hand.
We all live in the land of the anime. Why does this make me upset? I should have seen this fucking coming when I let him live. Shane? Dominic cries out softly, not sure what the fuck is going on anymore. Last time he saw Shane, he tried to kill him, and basically succeeded. But here he was now, offering his hand. What was happening?
Dominic, quick! You don't have much time.
Dominic shakes his head, but then realizes he has no other option. Grabbing Shane's hand, he accepts the help and rises to his feet. He stumbles forward, almost falling back down, but he doesn't. He presses his back against Shane, still a bit delirious, but his friend supports him, and he draws a set of daggers. Confusion assails Dominic as everything was happening so fast.
There. We're even now.
I guess? You did kill him, but now you did save him. Maybe you are even. I don't know what's happening. Dominic nods.
So what do you say, Dominic? Fight? Just like old times?
Dominic nods again, and if I survive all of this, I'm guessing at least Dominic lives because of my decision to let Shane live. Okay, so there's at least one person I can confirm will live. Maybe. A moment later, they both charge toward the suit of armor. Like a team, and like friends, they fight together once more.
Just keep it up, Dominic. I'll patch you up as soon as we're safe.
Shane, talk to me. Why are you doing this?
But Shane doesn't answer. At least not before the bell is rung. Oh my god, the bell is actually ringing! Where's everyone going? Bingo! Delivering the sound of hope to Dominic's ears. Fortame had achieved his goal. That means his allies still lived. Dominic goes to keep fighting, but Shane holds him back.
Dominic, no! Look! It's over.
The honor guard turns to stare at the source of the ringing. Then they throw their swords to the ground without hesitation. Starting to march away, they abandon all their previous efforts.
We did it. I can't believe this.
I can't fucking believe. All right, who's not dead? Sound off. Without a word, Shane just stands there along with Dominic. Together, as the ash rains down upon them, they watch their foes flee. Dominic smiles, a few tears running down his face. Was it all really over? No, that wasn't the right way of looking at it. Things had just begun. The monarch had to finish it all. Dominic looked in the direction of the castle, as hope rises within him.
Monarch, good luck. We're all counting on you.
Someone has to. The town square is soon devoid of all foes. But now, without the obstructed vision, Dominic can see all of his allies. They raise their swords in the air and start cheering. Baltius was theirs. And soon the lives of the triumvirate would be theirs as well. They cheer the monarch's name, and then that's all Dominic can hear. But that's all he needed to hear, for the name of the monarch meant hope. Wait, then that means Draku and... What the fuck are... Oh, what the fuck? Oh, what the fuck am I looking at? Oh, are those supposed to be clouds? Are those clouds? Those didn't look like clouds at first. Oh, the ringing of the bell echoes in my ears. It's almost deafening. I'm relieved to know that Fortame survived and succeeded. Me and Zoe stand in darkness, and it's hard to see.
Here, you'll be needing this.
What, earplugs? He hands me a torch that was hung against the wall.
And watch your step as we go up those stairs. If you fall off the edge, well, you know how high we are.
Well, and if I don't, I'm gonna find out in like 10 seconds. I nod, the thought filled me with fright. I hold out the torch and see the bizarre sight before me. The walls are lined with gears. Metal gears. Just like the ones on the blade. Is the Blade of Exodus technically a metal gear? No. Crossover thoughts out of my head now. They spin and rotate in directions that they shouldn't. Makes no sense to me, but then again, neither does the blade. The gear on the blade spun in a way that was physically impossible. Fog lines the stairs leading up to Triumvirate's chambers. I was confident a moment ago, but this sight fills me with unease. I've never seen anything like it. It's very concerning to me. I couldn't see off the edges of the stairs, and there was no railing. The slightest stumble could send me back down to the atrium very quickly. I do need to go back there, but that's not the way I do it.
I have one piece of advice for you, Monarch. Don't let them talk to you. Just kill them with no question. All they'll do is try to justify their actions and earn your sympathy.
Oh, they're probably just going to talk anyway. We are in a visual novel. They are going to talk.
They prey on the minds of the weak, of those that they can mold. I know you're strong, but they just have this way of convincing you. I'd hate to see that happen to you. So remember, kill them all.
Is Alex dead? Speaking of people telling me to just kill them all, God, if I had a nickel for every time someone told me that... I wouldn't have that many nickels, but it's weird that I would have more than 5. I tell them that I didn't care what they'd say to me. I'm here to kill them. They could speak to me all they wished. They'd accomplish nothing. An easy goal to have in mind, but in practice, I guess I had no choice. I'd have to find out, however. Someone steps out of the room ahead of us. As they move towards us, I can see the white and gold of their cloak. Oh, fuck, it's the Triumvirate. They're coming out to meet us. One of them left their chambers? I thought they didn't do that.
Sylvie, you've returned. Were we not clear enough? A permanent exile is non-negotiable.
And I don't see anyone behind you willing to enforce that.
But you said...
He turns to them and motions as if he's pleading.
You said I could come back if I brought the blade. Is this not what you wanted? Was it not a test?
Are you fucking serious? The Triumvir looks down at both of us and sighs.
You think that you can fool us so easily? We know where your allegiance lies, Sophie. There is nothing in this world we cannot see.
So he gritted his teeth. I could tell that he was angry. I'm confused, but I trust him. I knew he was on my side. We had a heart-to-heart. At least, that's what I thought. Everything changes in an instant.
Everything I did for you. Were you really too foolish to realize that? My attempt to help the rebellion was only an act.
This could be cliched, he was bad guy all along, but I'll let this play out. Nani?
I've brought the enemy and the blade to your doorstep. Even after this, you deny me my redemption.
Oh, I immediately try to run, but Sylvie grabs my left arm. As much as I struggle, it's no use. He's too strong. I'm filled with fright. How could he do this? Let's let this play out. Let's not immediately just turn into jelly, okay?
You've done nothing but bring an armed enemy into our home. Your judgment is clouded, Sophie. We decline your offer.
No!
A second later, Sylvie faces the blade into his hands. Then, much to my regret, he slices through my arm with ease. I scream, and then from the elbow down, almost nothing remains.
Then take this as an offering. That arm will never again be used against you. Before all of us, the monarch is defenseless.
He sliced off my non-weapon arm. He sliced off the arm that... Saying I was right-handed was on purpose, because I still have my weapon hand. Ah. He's a bit extreme, and I'm gonna fucking have to magic this back on later on. I'm gonna have to fucking magic this back on later. But I actually kind of get it. Defenseless even though it's not the right arm. Haha! Because he cut off the left. I'm funny. I don't feel anything, almost as if my body numbs itself from the trauma. But the sight is all too real. My lower arm limp and dead on the floor. Blood spurts from the wound, and I look at Sylvie in disbelief. Little warning before. Oh, because they can see everything. They would have instantly just caught on. He makes direct eye contact with me, and then looks at the torch. I'm still gripping it tightly, and that's when things make sense. Cauterize your wound. Was he trying to fool them? I still have use of my good arm. I slump against the wall and use the torch to burn the wound shut. A disgusting smell fills the air, and I can hear crackling and sizzling. This is all I can do while I watch Sylvie ascend the stairs with the blade.
You continue to surprise us, Sylvie. Very well. Let us talk.
The Triumvirate looks down at my scabbard. They definitely believe Sylvie removed my dominant arm. I don't know why any of this is happening, but I let it all unfold. I trust him. I mean, I'm all right now.
Thank you, Master. I am sorry for letting you down in the past. I can only hope that this offering is enough to please you.
He continues to walk up the stairs slowly, as if somewhat scared. If I were him, I wouldn't want to make any sudden movements either. The Triumvirate has the advantage here. All we could do is try our best.
Remove threats to ensure the continued reign of Alestia's leaders. Is that not what you wanted? Is that not the role of the Grand Inquisitor?
You know what a bitch it's going to be putting that arm back on? You know, maybe a little, like, Morse code through blinking what the plan was first, huh? As he speaks, he reaches the top of the stairs and faces his master. The Triumvirate lets out another loud sigh and proceeds to nod a few times. By now, I'm almost coherent again, and the wound bleeds no more, burnt shut.
You are right. Kneel, Sylvie, and pledge your loyalty. Then, turn that blade on the monarch and take his soul. That's all we need. The blade and the power inside him.
Sylvie merely drops the blade to his side and kneels down. He hits the ground with a loud... It hits the ground with a metallic clang, then rests there motionless.
Yes, whatever you say, I will continue to serve. As the Grand Inquisitor, I have only one goal. Removing threats to the throne of Alestia.
Being you. He trembles, frightened, as the Triumvirate nods.
And I shall start with you.
A moment later, the blade disappears from the ground, but it doesn't return to Sylvie's hands, or even mine. It phases directly through the chest of the Triumvirate.
Sylvie!
He rises to his feet and grips the handle of the blade. I can see tears streaming from his eyes, sad at what he's done. He's shaking as if he almost refuses to believe that this is real.
I hate that you're making me do this. I hate the man that you've made me become.
Sophie.
And a moment later, he pulls out the blade. Then, with a harsh kick, the triumvirate flies off the edge. I can hear the scream as they fall, and then the screams fade. So he drops the blade and then drops back down to his knees. I start walking up the stairs, shocked at what I just saw. How the fuck was this going to play out if I didn't have him here? One of them was dead? Now only 2 remain.
Monarch, take the blade and go. End this foolish war. Please.
Cool. We're gonna talk later after I put the arm back on about some communication to plans. You know, more than none. I summon the blade back into my hand and walk up the stairs. I stop as I arrive beside him, but he simply shakes his head. I consider placing my hand on his shoulder, but it's no use.
Just go.
Probably would have liked to know who that dude was, but okay. With a sigh of regret, I realize that there's nothing I can do. I wouldn't even have time to chastise him. I decide to enter the chambers. His cries fill my ears, anticipate with each step I take toward the end. Either the end of the triumvirate, or the end of myself. We're ending the episode there. Haha. As we come full fucking circle. Motherfuckers. See you on the next episode. I'm cursing up a storm as we near the end of this.